All right, morning everybody. All right, so we had a few technical issues this morning, but it looks like we're up and running now. All right, so we've been having some hectic markets recently. Had a really good recovery in the US last night, though. They were really selling off almost in sympathy with European markets. DAX down 2%, FTSE down 1.7%, CAC down almost 3%. So a massive sell-off in Europe. But you got the feeling that, sort of towards the end of yesterday, that the S&P had a chance of rallying. It was almost getting forced down by European markets, and then as soon as they closed, they sort of edged their way higher. I think they were up as much as 5 or 6 points during the day, ended flat, and now we're up another 7.75 points this morning. So looking good for at least a temporary turnaround on world markets today. Last night we had unemployment benefit claims unexpectedly dropping, while factory orders dropped 10.1%, worse than the 8.7% decline estimated. Stock-specific news, we had Twitter rallying after an upgrade from JP Morgan, and Tesla rising after a new electric car to be unveiled next week. And then obviously we have the non-farm payrolls coming out later today, so everybody's going to be watching out for that. In Asia, when this was actually written, a lot of Asia was lower, but a good turnaround in Asia so far this morning. We've got Hang Seng up almost 1%, Nikkei up 1/3%, Aussie up 1/3%. So a pretty good turnaround out of Asia. From the Nikkei, we had SoftBank falling sharply after announcing investment in a US film studio. Right, the charts of interest today. I mean, if you've been reading any kind of financial publications, you would have been reading a lot about PIMCO and Bill Gross, and how they've underperformed the market. So this is just a graph on showing the degree of the underperformance, which has been pretty bad. They've had a lot of they've obviously lost a lot of key staff, and had a lot of outflows into other bond funds. So not looking good for PIMCO at the moment. Corporate action. We have a lot of stocks going ex-div. We've got Murray's 50 cents, Bidvest 4.32 rand, Discovery 78 cents, Sasol 13.50 rand, First Rand 97 cents, RMH 1.27 rand, and RMI 62 cents. So keep an eye out for those. And then key factors, we had PMI out of Japan earlier, SA, HSBC, South Africa, PMI whole economy comes out at 9:15, 5 to 10 we have German services PMI, 10 o'clock Eurozone services PMI, 10:30 UK market, UK services PMI, 11 o'clock we have retail sales year on year out of the Eurozone. And then the big ones out of the US, 2:30 we've got trade balance, change in non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and also market services PMI. And ISM non-manufacturing composite. So obviously the big ones coming out of the US later, that's what everybody will be looking for. All right, let's have a look quickly at the charts. All right. Now the majority of the charts I looked at this morning are actually looking pretty bearish, and I actually don't want to show them just purely on the fact that it's likely that the markets could have a bit of a turnaround today. So let's start with the Aussie. We had that big drop that Joe and I have been talking about over the last few days out of the symmetrical triangle, just gone straight down, got through its 200-day moving average at 44,000. Look, as you can see from this, if I zoom in here, we're putting in a bit of a reversal here this morning. Futures currently at 43,700, so looking good to start off the day. If we can look for sort of a break above the previous day's high at 44,000, that could possibly mark at least a short-term turnaround on the Aussie. All right, next one I wanted to look at was Discovery. We actually looked at it early on in the week, and we were looking at this 97 level for a breakdown, which we actually got yesterday. Obviously, Discovery, as you can see from this chart, has been in a pretty amazing uptrend. And so I don't want to say that this breakdown definitely confirms the move lower. If we get a reversal today out of it, perhaps through 97, that would negate the breakdown. But if we have to be strictly look at the breakdown, it potentially has a target a little bit lower, possibly to the sort of 93 level. So let's keep an eye on Discovery. It's definitely one that I think you want to be buying more than selling. Look for a reversal from current levels. Preferably we want to move back above 97. Next one, again, another one I looked at earlier on in the week when I did the call was Aspen. This one's been holding unbelievably well through a major sell-off. I mean, we've sold off 4,000 points almost from the top, almost 10% correction in the Aussie, and this one has held as solid as a rock. Yesterday, despite the big sell-off, we actually, I think, broke through this, or came very close to breaking through this symmetrical triangle after the big move up. Odds definitely favour a further move to the upside, so carry on watching for a move. Possibly looking for 25 rand from the breakout, which would take us into the the 360. So looking good for Aspen at the moment. Next one we're looking for is Goldfields. Goldfields has been in sort of a long, protracted flag pattern. It was definitely the gold share that was outperforming more than the other ones, but maybe apart from SGL recently. But yeah, broken through this flag pattern. Had a good day yesterday. Ended up almost 3% in the States yesterday. So possibly look for a bit of follow through here. Gold and platinum, the commodities aren't looking all that hot this morning. Gold at 12.11 and platinum at 12.51. So maybe not the right play initially. I wouldn't just jump into it. Maybe see how it pans out. But possibly a move above this 50-day moving average could mark a bit of a recovery for Goldfields. Next one we'll look at is Sasol. Sasol, we've been looking at this breakdown from a bit of a head and shoulders after we had a fake breakout to the upside. Over here it turned sharply, broke down from a little bit of a head and shoulders. The target from the head and shoulders is about 590, which comes in close to this. The 200-day moving average is about 587. It is possible that we get a reversal out of Sasol today along with the rest of the market. It actually did hold up reasonably well compared to where it was trading in the States. For most of yesterday there was a big buy out there and only really gave up most of those gains, most of those losses sort of in the last half an hour of the day. But technically speaking, we've got a little more downside in Sasol possibly. But if we do get a reversal from current levels, possibly breaking this immediate downtrend, let's call it at around 615, 613. If we get a move above that level, then possibly this downtrend, this short-term downtrend is negated, and we get some more upside in Sasol. And the last one I want to show was Naspers. Naspers obviously had a reasonable move down from the high. Moved it down, just a little over 200 rand on Naspers. It's just broken its 200-day moving average, but you can see from this last time I tested the 200-day moving average, it was actually a good buying opportunity. If we do get a reversal of this level, let's look for 1220 over the 200-day moving average, and sort of 1250 from the high of the major move down over the last day. We did have Tencent have a good recovery today. It was down 1.5%. I think it's actually positive now, and Naspers has moved down a lot while Tencent has been on holiday. So there could be a bit of catch up in Naspers over the next few days. So keep an eye on it. There could be a decent move out of that one. And that's all for today, guys. Good luck.